Well, good morning to you and welcome to this morning's reflection. This week we're going to be looking at the work of John Ortberg and in particular his book called The Life You Have Always Wanted. And he begins by proclaiming that God is a God of joy. Yes, God knows sorrow, but sorrow, like the anger of God, is temporary. But joy is his basic nature. And it's God's intention that his creation mirror that joy. As those created by him, we should reflect God's fierce joy in our lives. And I love that word, his fierce joy. Jesus himself said, "I have said these things to you, that my joy might be in you, and your joy may be complete." Lewis Smead said, "To miss out on joy is to miss out on the reason for existence." And C.S. Lewis said, "Joy is the serious business of heaven." You see, joy is not optional for us. Joy is a fruit of the Spirit, and if we live by the Spirit, then joy must be alive in us. John Ortberg calls joyless living a sin, and he says that it is the most tolerated sin in the church. Joyless Christians have done so much to damage the cause of Christ. And when we think about it, who stands to gain the most from joyless Christians, from those who live in a perpetual state of despair and hopelessness? Not God, but rather the evil one rejoices when we see only reason for despair and hopelessness. But we are invited to rejoice in every moment of life, for the simple reason that every moment is a gift. And every once in a while, the veil is lifted and we see the truth of that. We have greatly underestimated the necessity of joy. Nehemiah said, "This day is holy to the Lord your God. Do not mourn and weep. Go in your way, eat the fat, drink sweet wine, for this day is holy to the Lord. Do not be grieved, for the joy of the Lord is your strength." And I hadn't thought about it like that before, that joy is indeed a strength. Joy is a strength. Its absence creates weakness. And this is what Dallas Willard says: "Failure to attain a deeply satisfying life always has the effect of making sinful actions seem good." And here lies the strength of temptation. Normally, our success in overcoming temptation will be easier if we are basically happy in our lives. To cut off the joys and pleasures associated with our bodily lives and social existence as unspiritual can actually have the effect of weakening us in our efforts to do what is right. And so the key task for spiritual vitality is that we must arrange our lives so that sin no longer looks good to us, because we are content. If you can find contentment in life, if you can find contentment in a traffic jam, you will not need to vent your anger on those around you. When you can be content in all things, your selfish needs become far less demanding, and you are less likely to make your own self the god of the day, and that, after all, is the root of sin. And so we need to take joy seriously because, in a sense, it strengthens and protects us. Now, you can become a joyful person. It is possible, but it is a learned skill. And the first thing we need to do is to practice the discipline of celebration. We need to practice the art of celebrating life. And that is why birthdays are so important. To celebrate the gift of life. To take time to do the things we love with a grateful heart. With a sense of doing them with God. Walking with God. Cooking with God. Celebration is not hedonism. Hedonism is the search for personal gratification, and it follows the law of demanding returns. And so we keep having to seek more and more and more. But if we celebrate in such a way that we are celebrating God and His goodness in the simple gifts of life, that is true celebration. When we delight today in the simple things, things we would not normally notice, that increases our capacity for joy. And so my challenge to you today is notice the small things and give thanks for them. Celebrate them with God. Do the things of life with God and see reason to be joyful through the day. Amen.